Howdy ho, collectors. So we have another top 10, and this is the most difficult one for me to put together. This is my top 10 castings in the $10 to $20 price range. And you're going to ask yourself, where can I get that model for less than $20? I use a website called rcmart.com. Just by the name, they primarily do RC vehicles, but they have a whole diecast section, and their pricing is quite fantastic. If you bulk order like 10 models or something, the shipping only comes down to like $3 per model. It really depends, you know, they charge by weight, so keep that in mind. Before I get into the top 10, I have these two honorable mentions. The first one is that blue Porsche. That's a 1/87 scale car. It's made by Herpa. And if you look at that thing, it has plastic turn signals. It also has a brake system that stays stationary. Maybe you can't see that, so I'll show you here. So these are model railroading vehicles. You see the red caliper? Oh, boy, it's so small it's hard to... There you go. That caliper in there stays in the same location. It's crazy. The lug nut details. It has rubbery tires. It has there's some color. There's some red in that interior. But really, I mean, you got 4 plastic lights up front. So, model railroading is real scale modeling. Unfortunately, 1/64 scale still seems to be derived by toys. So, anyways, that's the one option for you. If you're new to collecting vehicles, you might want to skip this entire category. But chances are you guys already collect 1/64. That's why you're watching this video. So this model here is by Power 64. Power 64 is at the low end of the $10 range. They're like $10, $12, $13. And so they're great models for the price. Unfortunately, they're gonna, once you enter $15 to $20, it jumps to a different level of quality. I almost debated even having 2 categories, just based on a $5 bracket, but no, I decided to lump it into one. I also like that this brand isn't afraid to censor. You know, they don't care that this thing says camel. Whereas like Kyosho and other brands won't put tobacco liveries on their castings. Which, you know, I can understand Hot Wheels not doing, because those are aimed for children. But an adult collectible, adults smoke, man, right? If a car had, you know, liveries from alcohol or tobacco, it should be on that model. So I have to mention Power 64 because they're not in my top 10. But I like what the company is doing, and I'm gonna definitely get more of their castings because I like what they do. All right, so those things are out. So there's no particular order to what I'm showing here. You know what though? Let's do this one. Let's see. This is by Pop Race, and this is a Toyota Celica that won the Safari Rally, I believe. I think it actually might be made by Inno64. This thing is just plastered with details. Just look at everything going around. Fender flares, roll cage inside or roll cage outside, the plastic lights front and rear, these little auxiliary lamps on the sides, reflective stickers in the side mirrors, racing harness decals on the seats, the antenna on the top of the roof. It just goes on and on and on. So if you're interested in this one, you can just search my history or on any of these models, and you'll see detailed, you know, shots of the whole thing. So, yeah, this is a fantastic one. I like rally racing as well, so that's why I had to get it. Oops, sorry, just have to get that off. Alright, next one here. Let's just go with the regular Kyosho. So I think I paid like $15 for this one. So it's pretty nice for 15 bucks. The fact that this thing has printing on the tires, and look at all the color separation of these orange accents in the rest of the body. So I think that's pretty fantastic. It's even got silver in the side mirrors, which you don't get with most Kyoshos. But this is one of the crystal box Kyoshos, one of the more modern releases. It's not a blister pack one. So I had to throw it in there because the majority of my collection is Kyosho. Although granted, they're the cheaper ones. Okay. Alright. Mini GT. I'm going to throw in this Benz 190E. There's a couple brands, 2 other brands making this exact same car in this exact same livery. But I went with Mini GT as the cheaper option. I think it still looks fantastic. Plastic lights front and back. It's got the tiny metal bend star there on the hood there. The roll cage, and then all the printing looks pretty good. So yeah, Mini GT is one of my favorite brands. I would say for the under $15 category, it's the best brand going. The rubbery mirrors in particular are nice, and then the screwed together bases allow you to modify them very easily or fix any problems that you might have, although problems are really rare anyways. Alright. This thing. McLaren X600LT by LCD model. I think it was Seismic 64 that told me about this brand LCD, and so I gave it a shot. You can buy this model for $15, I think, off at Small Ants model, and so this model is worth 2 to 3 times that much, I think. The carbon fiber on this thing is immaculate. This thing has a suede interior. I have never seen any other model have an Alcantara interior. And then just all the details, the brake system, the lights, all the badging, everything. So again, you might want to look up the review of this thing. This is the best value in 164 that I've ever purchased, and I have over 1,000 models, I would say now. So yeah, this is 1 in 1,000. It's the best thing going, but you have to get it from Small Ants model. Other websites, AliExpress, they might charge $30, and even if you paid $30 for this thing, you'd be amazed. So it's just it's a miracle. It's awesome. Alright, let's go to this NO64. Not quite a rally car, but pretty darn close. This is a Dakar rally vehicle, you know, this Pajero. So again, just covered in details. Even the interior, you can see the dashboard, and there's all sorts of switches on the dashboard. The side windows have details. The mirrors are reflective. And look at the two little tow hooks, those metal tow hooks on the front. And then the very thin, I'm guessing, metal mud flaps there as well. So, yeah. Another fantastic model. NO64, I would say, well, LCD model might be my favorite brand, but they don't make many of them. NO64 is my next favorite brand because they also make a lot of different models. And so here's one of them right here. Going the complete opposite from that last one. Now we have a slammed and low wide-bodied NSX here. You'll note the wheels here. These wheels are photo-etched metal, faces. So it's they're branching out beyond plastic molded wheels. They're combining, what I'm guessing is maybe a plastic rim, but then a photo etched center. So it's very nice. And then if you just look at all the crazy bits hanging off of this thing, these canards on the side and the front, the wing, that diffuser in the back, there's a lot of opportunities for things to go wrong when you have to put this many parts on a model. But this one is almost perfect. The only thing wrong I saw was one of the front canards is not quite horizontal, but I can live past that. Alright, so yeah, the interior again also has got harnesses and details and the instruments, and yeah, NO64. They have quite a range, from a Dakar rally car to this street rocket bunny vehicle here. Whoa. Okay, I guess we gotta reset there. So this is my Aoshima. This is a Liberty Walk modified Nissan Skyline. I also further modified it by putting some BNDS alloy wheels on it. Now, truthfully, in the amount of features that you get, these Aoshima Grachan cars are not worth the money. Especially on eBay. If you buy them individually, they're very expensive. I bought the whole case, so it worked out to be maybe 11 or 12 bucks a model. But I like the whole tuned JDM style. I like that these things have these tiny diameter wheels. They're slammed to the ground. And one thing that's nice about Aoshima is, at least these Grachan ones, is the paint quality. I think I only have like maybe 1 or 2 with paint bubbling out of like 25 or something like that. So I think statistically it's the best brand for paint quality. So this one has like a weird translucent clear coat. You can see a little bit of purple, I think, on some of the edges as it spins around. So yeah, the whole GarageBand collection, I have a video on that. It's very nice. Okay. So this is a brand called BM Creations. This is a Suzuki Cappuccino, which is a K-Class sports car. This is an absolute fantastic deal in the 1/64 scale realm. It not only comes with 2 sets of wheels, one for the stock original wheels, and you can set the ride height to be a stock ride height, but then this one is showing off the aftermarket wheels, and it's showing them off in the lowered riding stance. And then on top of that, the front wheels can steer left and right, so you can have a lot of cool photo opportunities, or just make your dioramas look a little more realistic, you know, make the cars look like they're turning. This one also has metal grills front and back. The front and rear openings literally have a piece of metal behind in them. So it's just amazing the amount of work and the amount of value you get from BM Creations, you know, with the second wheel set and the ability to change the ride height. Unfortunately, this brand is also doing a lot of stuff with opening parts and stuff, so I won't buy everything from them. But the ones that look like this, you know, with no opening hoods or doors, I'll definitely continue to purchase from them. Alright, so BM Creations, very cool. Alright, let's go back to Mini GT. This Mini GT Vision Gran Turismo Bugatti here is just amazingly well done. First, the construction of this thing must have been really difficult to engineer, because the car itself is so complex looking, with all these different surfaces, you know, going behind other surfaces, and then the way they printed on this carbon fiber texture is just, it's so well done. I mean, the color tone might be a little bit too light. The dark blue it should probably be a little bit darker, but it's still, it's awesome. And then, you know, those tailpipes, they're not quite horizontal. Some people are saying they're supposed to be crooked that way. Although, truthfully, I watched a video of this car, and they looked horizontal to me in the video. So that's debatable. But anyways, I'm sure Mini GT knows better than me. They probably are supposed to be crooked. For the price of this thing, it can't be beat. This cannot be beat for $12 or whatever you can get this thing for. Alright. The very last one, amazingly, it was under $20. If you go to Small Ants Model website, samodelcar.com, I think it is. I think this thing is like $18 on that website. Again, this just like that McLaren. Well, this is well beyond the amount of detail of the McLaren, though. Just look at this thing. It's a multiple colored vehicle. The carbon fiber looks like real, genuine carbon fiber. It's, you know, and you can't even tell because this camera is a good 4 inches away. From this distance, that looks like a black car. But now as I close in on this thing, trying to focus. Can't focus, it's too shiny. Let's try the rear wing. Alright, maybe there. So you can see now there's a carbon fiber weave, and then it's underneath the gloss coat like real wet carbon. So, I mean, it's just insane. That's just the outside. Look at the interior. I mean, it's got all these textures on the floor and the... Anyways, you might want to look up that review. So, again, LCD model. I mean, you guys are the best brand for the money. And then Inno64 is a very close second. I don't know, I can almost flip a coin. It depends on the day. They're both so good. But I guess maybe it's coming down to really nitpicking. The wiper blade on this thing is actually molded, whereas an Inno64 wiper blade is like a bent piece of metal. So I guess that's what makes LCD just that tiny bit better and more realistic than Inno. Okay. Well, there we have it. This is the hardest category for me to break down, $10 to $20, and these are my top 10 from that category. It's probably the category that I collect the most. Yeah, this is the best value for money. I have plenty of models that cost more than this, but they're not better than this. That's sad to say. Naturally, I have a lot of models that cost less than $10, but they definitely give up a lot of the details. So, okay guys, well thanks for watching. Stay tuned, I'll have another top 10 to come.